All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to cut through all the noise, all the hype, and the day-to-day panic of the stock market. We're getting back to a core, timeless idea: how to actually think like an investor.
So let me ask you, does the stock market ever just make you feel, well, kind of sick? It seems totally chaotic, right? One day it's soaring, the next it's in a total freefall. If watching the ticker gives you whiplash, believe me, you are not alone. But what if I told you there's a way to diagnose this madness? And even better, a way to make yourself completely immune to it. So first things first, let's put a finger on the problem. Let's diagnose what's really going on with how most of us interact with the market. Turns out, this sickness, it has a name. It's called Q fever. Now, I want you to imagine the stock market is this huge, dense forest. And this forest is just infested with ticks. Those ticks are the nonstop 24/7 stream of price quotes, always trying to bite you. For anyone who wanders in unprepared, these bites transmit Q fever, this obsession with price that just leads to confusion, bad decisions, and total financial delirium. And this really shows the two ways you can walk into that forest. You've got the prudent hiker, that's our intelligent investor. They show up prepared, right? They're covered up, protected from all that noise. If a price tick happens to latch on, they just calmly and carefully remove it. No big deal. But then you've got the fool. They just run in, totally exposed. The second they get bit, they panic, they try to burn the tick out, and they just make everything so much worse. They're the ones who always catch Q fever. So if that's the disease, what's the cure? Well, it all comes down to understanding one single fundamental distinction, and that is the difference between price and value. The legendary investor Ben Graham gave us the perfect way to think about this with his story of Mr. Market. Imagine he's your business partner. Now, some days, Mr. Market is just euphoric. He's pounding on your door, offering to buy your shares for way more than they're worth. But on other days, he is in a deep, dark depression, and he's begging you to take his shares off his hands for pennies on the dollar. He's emotional, he's unreliable, honestly, he's totally unstable. And here is the absolute key. Your job is not to guess Mr. Market's mood swings. That's a speculator's game, and it's a losing one. No, your job is to be a business analyst. It's to know for yourself what the business you're looking at is actually worth, completely separate from whatever crazy price Mr. Market is screaming at you today. Let's make this real. Imagine you own a healthy apple tree. The first bidder comes along and offers you $50, basically what it's worth as firewood. That's salvage value. It's totally wrong. Then an accounting student offers you $75, which is what you paid for the sapling years ago. That's book value. Useless. Then some internet whiz kid offers you $1,500. He just added up the price of every apple the tree might ever produce, ignoring things like costs and time. Only the intelligent analyst does the real work. They figure out the value of all the future cash it'll generate and find it's really worth about $250. So how do we actually do that? How do we become that intelligent analyst who focuses on business value instead of Mr. Market's crazy prices? Well, you're going to need a few essential tools in your toolkit. It really all boils down to three core ideas, three pillars. First, you have to demand a margin of safety. Second, you have to stay inside your circle of competence. And third, you concentrate on your best ideas. Let's break those down. Okay, the margin of safety. This is, and I'm not exaggerating, your single greatest protection in investing. So if you did the work and calculated that the apple tree is worth $250, you don't pay $250 for it. You wait. You wait until Mr. Market is having one of his terrible, horrible, no good, very bad days, and he offers it to you for, say, $150. That $100 gap, that's your margin of safety. It's your cushion, your buffer, that protects you if you made a mistake or if things just don't go exactly as planned. Next up is your circle of competence. And honestly, this is just a fancy way of saying stick to what you already know. You don't need to be an expert in everything. A doctor has a massive head start trying to understand a company like Pfizer. A retail manager, they can analyze Home Depot way better than some analyst on Wall Street who's never set foot in one. Even a chocolate lover has a built-in advantage analyzing Hershey's. The key is to know where your circle ends and to never, ever step outside of it. But here's the thing. Knowing a business isn't just about the numbers on a spreadsheet. It's also about the people running the show. And this brings us to a super important and often overlooked piece of the puzzle: why management matters so much. So let me ask you this. If a company has absolutely stellar financials, Amazing cash flow, super low debt, incredible profit margins. Is that enough? Is that all you need to know to make a great investment? The answer is a hard no, because you aren't just buying assets, you're handing over your hard-earned money to the people in charge. You're trusting them.
And there are really only two types of managers out there. On one side, you have owner-oriented managers. These are the good guys. They treat you, the shareholder, like a real partner. They're smart with money, they're brutally honest, and they care about the long-term health of the business. But on the other side, you've got the empire builders. They just want to grow their own little kingdom, making dumb acquisitions. They play games with the accounting, and they're obsessed with hitting the next quarterly number to pump up the stock price, even if it hurts the company down the road. And these empire builders, they often use some pretty shady accounting tricks. Take cookie jar reserves, for example. In a really good year, they might stash away some extra profits by overestimating future expenses. They're creating a cookie jar that they can dip into later to make a bad year look way better than it actually was. Your job as an investor is to be a detective, to spot these red flags and just run away.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. The final step in this whole process is a really profound mindset shift. It's about moving beyond just being a smart business analyst and becoming a true owner. And honestly, nobody has ever said it better than Warren Buffett. You're not just buying a stock. You are buying a piece of a business that you should be happy to own forever. It's a serious commitment, right? It's like a marriage. You have to be incredibly patient and incredibly picky before you say, I do.
This right here? This is the whole transformation in a nutshell. Look at the questions. A trader is obsessed with price, with what the crowd is thinking, with the latest news. An owner asks totally different questions. They want to know about business value, about how operations are going, and about whether management can be trusted. It's a complete shift from short-term guessing to long-term ownership.
And so, that leaves us with this one final, all-important question. It's the question you have to ask yourself every single time you even think about putting your money to work. Are you buying a flickering symbol on a screen, just hoping and praying its price goes up? Or are you buying a real fractional ownership stake in a wonderful business, one that you truly understand and trust for the long haul? The answer to that single question, well, it makes all the difference in the world.